Welcome back. Time to get out of here.
Braved the perils of the sublevel, yes. Many stories and artifacts in your possession. This is fortuitous for myself and associates. For now, not only do I get rich salvage, but an even richer bounty. Do not be making this difficult. Your death can be quite painless.
I'm afraid your death won't be.
So, this is your threat? Is terror what I'm supposed to feel? We know a thing about Jedi and their ways. And now, Jedi, we shall fight.
Everyone!
We'll see about that. Now that'll fight, you little bitch. Some people tell me Force Lightning is useless. Absolutely. I just killed all that group in 2 seconds. Okay. McCall stays in my party, though I might switch HK out. Or I don't know. Maybe I keep Goto. Hard to say. Okay.
Jaren knew the risks. He wouldn't do anything different if he was...
What? Who is that? Oh, it's you. You go down into the sub-levels yet? Or did you suddenly develop some sense?
I like to talk to you.
A certain...
Yes, before I do anything. She doesn't really have anything useful.
What? You... It's a shame about them. Have any luck getting to their bodies? I figure there's about no chance you'll succeed, but the reward is still open.
Joran told me the real reason you're looking for them.
I should flay him alive for helping an outsider. I figured it was worth a try. Those salvages are worth more dead than they ever were alive.
Your compassion is touching.
I look after myself. It's the only way you can get by in this galaxy. Now get out of my sight. What? Who is that?
I'm gonna get the salvage for myself. I am embracing my inner dark side. We'll see.
I am ready.
Yes, Master.
I might just cheat to get my companions back to the light side, but we'll see.
Any luck on getting...
I found your thief.
Excellent. How did you deal with Joran?
Your thief wasn't Joran or Salvager.
It has to be someone near their camp, and no one else lives around them. You might be right, but I doubt it.
The Salvagers have been hit by a thief too.
Are they turning on their own? Typical. That's about all I know. I've never seen the thief clearly. Do you have any idea who it is?
It was a young woman scared by the war.
Really? So it isn't a salvager. Well, the war affected different people different ways. Is she gonna be alright?
I tried.
Don't worry too much on her account. She's a thief and got what she deserved.
Perhaps.
Here's your reward. Finally, I can get back to work.
Ooh, embrace the dark side. So evil. Pure evil.
It's you again. Well, you know who I am. I figure you've got a reason for coming back. You want something? I'll tell you what I tell all those...
I have the bodies right here.
Let me see the will. A I'll be glad to get rid of this claim and get those salvagers out of my headquarters. Let me see. He left his claim to you. How'd he even... You know, at this point, I don't even care. I'll have one of the militia get the claim for you. Here's your claim. I'll go let the salvagers know that it's been taken care of. Hopefully, this is the last I hear of it.
Yeah. I want my lightsaber, thank you.
Hello there. Let me guess. You were tricked out of some credits. Sorry, friend, but we don't do anything about that anymore. Don't you know our rules? Glad you asked. So here are the militia rules then. Kunda and the salvager camp are under militia protection, so a friendly scuffle is all right. But if any blasters are drawn, there'll be hell to pay. But if you buy some Jedi trinket and you're not satisfied, you're on your own. I'd stay away from the mercenary camp. We've had difficulties with them. We don't patrol or investigate there anymore. A trip there and you're on your own. Follow the rules and we don't have any problems. Oh, and Pato Ado doesn't cheat as far as we can figure. So don't complain about the Ithorian either. All right.
He's certainly beaten quite a few people, apparently. Okay. Let me talk with the disciple.
Yes? Is something wrong?
I had some questions.
Of course. What did you wish to know?
You look familiar to me.
I imagine in your travels of the galaxy you've seen many people. Faces tend to blur together after a time. Of course. I am an historian and scientist working for the Republic, although I'm certain my contemporaries would judge me more a historian than scientist. I have some training in the medical arts, if you are ever in need of healing as well, but my chief passion is history. I came to Dantooine in the hopes of finding some trace of the Jedi, but you know how my explorations turned out. Instead, it seems a Jedi came to me, and just in time.
You said you had medical training?
Yes, I have been trained by some of the best researchers in the Republic, which is a humbling experience, let me tell you. But if you ever need some medical items broken down or constructed, let me know. Yes, is some... Very well. There. That should do it. Do you need anything else? Are you sure you need healing? You look good to me.
Oh, are you certain?
Yes. Your muscle tone looks good. Your response time seems excellent. And I see nothing that would otherwise impair your health. You have the same vitality about you that you seem to possess no matter what the circumstances.
Your words are appreciated.
I am surprised no one has told you the same before. It is the truth, and evident to anyone with eyes. Forgive me, but there is something I must ask. In my study of the Jedi histories and the more contemporary records, I have heard tales of a Jedi who was exiled. You are that Jedi, but the records are somewhat evasive on why this was done. I wanted to discuss why you chose to leave the Jedi Order and accept exile.
I left to protect the innocents on the Outer Rim.
I see. And because you went to war, they cast you out?
That was my belief, but recent discoveries seem to indicate that there may have been other causes.
Do you have a record of this trial?
Yes, the droid has a whole recording of it.
Perhaps I shall examine it when I get the chance. With your permission.
You're free to do so. Nah, I trust you. Go ahead.
I appreciate your trust. Thank you. I have studied the holorecord of your trial. I am unsure what to make of it. I must confess that I was searching for some meaning beyond the records. A reason for why one would leave the Order.
I did not leave the Order, I was exiled.
Yes, but exile is rare, and I have found it is not really something that the Order can enforce. Believe it or not, it was really your choice.
And why would I choose such a thing?
I do not know. That is a question best answered by yourself.
But it is you who made the choice to turn away, not them.
Still don't believe it.
I'm not certain I do either, but it is something worth considering.
Are you sure I don't know you?
You are correct. I am afraid I have not been entirely open with you concerning my past. If I look familiar, it is because we have met before, at the Enclave on Dantooine, many years ago. As on Coruscant, Force-sensitive children are taken to Dantooine as well, though it is done rarely and only with those they believe are destined to become Jedi Knights. It is the secret nature of the place. If you are not chosen by a master when you have come of age, however, then the path of the Jedi is denied to you. I met you on Dantooine, long ago, briefly. You taught us how to move within the Force and see it flow within others. How to see it in the behaviors of others and use that sight to achieve truth. It is difficult to explain the difference between you and Master Vrook, but I think it is because he was knowledgeable, but not a leader, not a mentor. You were different. We could all feel it. And I knew that if I were to have a master, I would want it to be you. And then you went to war. Many Jedi went to war, and the Jedi Masters proclaimed that you were Jedi no longer. Atris, the mistress of the Archives, was first among them. I knew at that moment that if you would no longer be a Jedi, then you must be correct. I realized I did not want to be a Jedi. Instead, I wished to follow your path, and in any event, there was no one to train me even if I wished it. They all went to war as I grew past the age of acceptance.
So you turned away from the Jedi, the Force, because of me?
It is possible to forget the Force, you know. If you have not felt it strongly enough, then there is little to miss. But I never felt the Force as strongly as I did when I was with you. And so I decided to serve the Republic, study the Jedi teachings, gather them perhaps. It was important to me to understand the Jedi now that they were gone. I felt some part of you should be preserved, so that your lessons would not be lost.
It was not my intention to leave, but I had to.
Perhaps. I still harbor doubts about the path I walked.
I could train you to feel the Force again.
It is not time, if there ever is a time.
If you were once a Jedi, what are you doing for the Republic then?
I am on a diplomatic mission. I am one of several tasked with attempting to contact any remaining Jedi and convince them to return to the Republic.
Why did they choose you?
I know something of the Jedi. I have studied them for a good portion of my life, and now that they are gone, such studies are even more important.
Have you had any luck?
I do not think it is a matter of luck or chance, only my own inability to find them. While the Enclave trained me for many things, I am afraid that the life of a bounty hunter was not among them. I suspect my turning away from the Force is also a hindrance in such cases. I imagine the Jedi would be easier to find if I still maintained my connections to the Force.
Do you know what happened to the Jedi?
No. It is something of a mystery why they would exile themselves as they have. It is not the way of the Jedi to vanish in such a way, especially when the Republic is in need of them. I fear that there is something else at work, something that we cannot see. Then again, perhaps the Jedi are hiding simply because so many people hate them these days.
The Jedi never knew the common people, especially when the common people were dying at the hands of the Mandalorians.
It is difficult sometimes for the Jedi to see such things, since much of it is rooted in human nature, and the Jedi are often removed from events of daily life, insulated. But the reason the Jedi Civil War was named such was because few in the galaxy can recognize the difference between the Sith and the Jedi. To them, they are both Jedi, with different philosophies. Not always. Jedi
already went for
it is
already went.
Jedi are not supposed to be, and yet it is difficult to.
What do you mean?
The problems with the Jedi are my own. I do not wish to burden you with my troubles. Yes? It is not time.
So now you're some sort of spy for the Senate.
I am on a diplomatic mission.
I have found one of the last Jedi.
You have? Where have they gone? And why?
They seem to be scattered over the past few years across various planets. It is as if they went in exile.
Like you? Curious. It is unlike the Jedi to vanish when the Republic is in need of them, and the Republic is more in need of them now than ever.
I believe the Sith assassins have been stalking the Jedi, murdering them one by one.
Perhaps the Sith have learned from Malak's defeat and have chosen a different tactic. It is like them to strike from the shadows. This has Revan's mark in things.
But I thought Revan had redeemed himself by defeating Malak.
Yes, but there is much of Revan's legacy that was not undone in the Jedi Civil War. I suspect these assassins are one of them. Master Vandar spoke of these assassins in the council chambers. They were used before large assaults on planets and Jedi to weaken them. Yes? A force bond? What do you mean? I'm not sure I understand. No. I thought I had heard mention of such connections in some of the holocrons, but I do not possess them. They are part of the holocrons that were taken from the Enclave. I do not know. I do not know who has taken them. If we were to find them, perhaps I could help you find the answers you need. I know some of what you speak. It is said that when a Jedi and Padawan establish a close connection, that they can feel each other across distances and coordinate their movements in battle. The intensity of the connection varies. That bonding is said to also be something that manifests itself in such techniques as Bastila's battle meditation, the ability to touch the minds of others, to demoralize or inspire them. It is also said that moments of death or near death may also cause such bonds. The stronger one is in the Force, the stronger the connection.
You said feel each other across distances. What about each other's thoughts?
Thoughts. Images, perhaps, but not actual communication and words. A bond often causes a sensation to be passed along it, such as extreme fear and pain. Still, I have seen Jedi who have the ability to communicate with aliens and beasts. It is a rare thing. Perhaps telepathy is one such talent. I've never heard of a bond being lethal. I suppose such a thing is possible. I had not truly believed Bastila's battle meditation until I had seen it in action. I do not know. Yes? No. It is something of a mystery why they would exile themselves. It is... But to that... Like you, I was looking for some trace of the Jedi. I had heard mention that one of the Jedi Masters had gone there, but I found no trace of them. The other reason was the ruins of the Jedi Enclave, and once I arrived, I felt it was necessary to stay, to protect what was left. Much had been taken from the Enclave, both by raiders and others. I wished to preserve what I could. Many artifacts were taken from the Enclave, but these thefts, they had to have been done by someone who knew the Enclave well. I suspect the Jedi themselves took the holocrons and records, but I do not know why. Someone has been taking holocrons from sites across the galaxy. It is almost as if someone does not want their knowledge used to find the Jedi. The situation on Dantooine is echoed in other places in the galaxy. Raiders, smugglers, all seek to plunder what remains of the Jedi, and even the Sith. More so than the Jedi themselves, I fear the loss of their history. Much has been forgotten in recent wars, and I fear that greater troubles shall stem from that loss of knowledge in the future. The destruction of the Academy on Ossus near the Kron Drift in the Sith War, the teachings of Master Arca, the adventures of Jolie Bindo on the Rimward missions. All of these things are in danger of being lost forever. Yes? I do not know if you are aware of how fragile the Republic is at the moment. Its influence is stretched. The Jedi are a symbol. There are many factors. Aside from protecting Telos and Onderon, we need a rallying force. We need the Jedi, even if they are just figureheads. That is why I traveled to Dantooine, to find some trace of them. The The Jedi Civil War brought much suffering to the galaxy, and the forces that Malak and Revan amassed against us seemed limitless. That is my thought. The Republic is not without its flaws, but it is preferable to anarchy. Without supply lines and a standing military, the chaos that would result would be greater than the Mandalorian Wars.
Alright, I've gained some influence with him. I believe I won't be able to turn him into a Jedi until I get to the...
Yes? It is not time, if that...
Okay.
The problem is my own, I fear. I harbor doubts concerning the Jedi. Many Jedi defy the Order during the Mandalorian Wars, and it paved the way for the Jedi Civil War.
Do you blame the Jedi who turned, or the kind
There is no blame. All must...
Or the...
Perhaps...
It is possible, but training must be embraced by both student and teacher.
I believe you are right. The students made their own choices, as much as the histories tell us. Perhaps I judge the masters unfairly, yet I still wonder why they did not rise to stop such threats earlier, or if they simply did not see them.
Sometimes a teacher must stand back and allow their students to face their own challenges if they are to grow.
That is a good point. Perhaps it is not the perception of a potential danger that is to blame. Then what is the answer? There may be none. Regardless, thank you for discussing this with me. Speaking of, it eases the burden.
I'm glad to help.
Again, I thank you. It has been long since I was able to speak to one who knows the Order and its philosophies.
These teachers who you feel may have failed the Order, who were...
Master Arca taught Ulik. Master Baz was the one who saw what Exar Kun could become, but he took no steps to stop him. Master Jar taught Malak, and Revan had many masters, including Jar, Kay, and Dorak. And towards the end of the training, Revan sought out many other teachers to learn certain techniques. And it is said that he went to his first and final master to learn how to leave the Order entirely as she had. And such teachings and their teachers is why I harbor doubts. Why I wonder if something is missing from the Jedi Code.
I've had this conversation before, but...
Revan had many masters. Zar, Dorak, Master Kay before Kay left for the wars. Towards the end of his training, he sought out many to learn techniques. It is said that he returned to his first master at the end of his training, in order to learn how he might best leave the Order. I do not recall who Revan's master was. Strange. I am not certain you understand what happened with Revan. Do you wish me to explain?
Go on.
Revan was captured in the middle of the Jedi Civil War, due in no small part to his apprentice Malak, who turned on him. Revan as Yes? It is not time. Many Jedi went to go fight in the Mandalorian Wars, and few returned. To their disciples left behind on Dantooine, on Coruscant, There were few masters to train them. I was one such student. Perhaps not as strong in the Force as the others, but it really did not matter. The teachers left behind were few. Only a few students were accepted as the Mandalorian Wars raged on, and when I came of age, there were no masters left to train me. So I was forced to leave the Order, to seek my path elsewhere. It was for the best, I think. I had begun to have doubts, and I think the masters were aware of them.
Do you blame the Jedi who left? I'm sorry for leaving ruined your chances of becoming a Jedi Knight.
Your apologies are not needed or warranted. I chose not to follow the Jedi, and the choice was my own. I think you are right. It is time. I have watched you. You have become strong in the Force again. But that is not all. You have achieved a center in the chaos around us, and I have felt it, my master. The one intended for me, left to fight in the Mandalorian Wars. Now she has returned, and I ask her now if she will train me in the ways of the Force.
Are your feelings clear on the matter? Clear? To become a Jedi is no easy path.
They are. The one who was to be my master was lost at Malak 5. I want you to teach me the ways of the Force, to become a Jedi Knight, what I meant to be.
Then let us meditate. Imagine the initial teachings of the Jedi, your first steps within the Enclave. I remember the wind among the plains of Dantooine, the feel of life around. He's committing suicide as I see it. Think of what you felt when our paths crossed again. Yeah, alas, see the galaxy through the Force.
I am ready.
Well, he's already got some good traits. That will work very well. There's quite a few stats I need to level with him. I could increase his intelligence, but that's pretty pointless at this stage. I'll increase his wisdom. And his repair. Power-wise, I figure I'll, yeah. There we go. Feats. Flurry, max rank. Oh, okay.
Yes? I am an historian and
Okay, he's a Jedi consular then.
I hope that you haven't run into any difficulties you couldn't deal with. Is there anything else I can assist you with? Like many parts of Dantooine, the sub-level of the Enclave has become infested with dangerous creatures. Several...
Okay, back to the Ebon Hawk. What? Fucking game removed my robe. Fine. Because my alignment shifted to the light side.
Ready. My life is yours.
Well, time to train these Jedi.
Command, you will talk. Defiant statement. There is nothing you can do to me. Do your worst. Agonized exclamation. My photoreceptors! My photoreceptors! Statement. I shall up the charge of your circuits next time. Now, answer the question. Posturing statement. I will never talk. Statement. Then I will have to settle for your screams.
That is one sick droid.
Statement. My prisoner has revealed something of interest. Allow me to share it with you. Statement. The facility that is creating these cruder, unsophisticated versions of me is located on Telos. I propose we go there and turn it into a smoldering crater.
What are you studying?
The more worlds we travel to, the more questions I have. It's not just the hardships of the people, but something more.
It is difficult to turn away from the suffering of others. That is why one must help them when they can.
You are right, but there is something more at work here.
There's something about the worlds themselves, isn't there?
Yes. These dead worlds, they well, they have a pattern to them. They were all touched by the Mandalorian Wars and the Jedi Civil War. But sometimes, well, I feel as if they are all connected in some other way. The attacks on Qatar, Telos itself, the decay on Dantooine. Something is wrong with life. The connections have been damaged, sickened. Sometimes I feel like I almost understand, and then it just slips away.
So close.
Perhaps if we visited all these worlds, more would become clear.
Perhaps. Dantooine is only one of the worlds. It was only the start of the journey. I would like to study the other locations. It is curious that the Jedi Masters chose those worlds to travel to. I wonder if the two are linked, but I know not how.
What have you brought me? I am... What about I... Now... Yes. Indeed. How insulting.
And what may I ask has caused you to come to this flawed deduction? It was the Biff who was murdered in his contact, and why?
If he had encountered the frequency with which I relayed commands and information, then the fault was his for excessive curiosity.
We've detected no similar frequencies entering the Ebon, which means somehow you're acting independently. Normally I would attribute such a slip to human memory, but one of your annoying traits is that you seem to remember everything.
I am intrigued as to where you are taking this amusing theory, nothing more.
I suspect you are a droid, an extremely advanced model. What I don't get is how you are able to commit crimes.
It is not so improbable. Often, if a droid has not had a memory wipe in some time, aberrant behavior patterns can manifest themselves. Or if the droid in question is given an order it cannot fulfill, it will break. But all that is irrelevant. Your amusing leaps of logic are becoming shorter and more desperate.
In all your operations on Arshada, they were efficient, organized, with lots of focus on the infrastructure, trade routes.
I have told you, I prefer stability.
The first Republic droid intelligence intended for Citadel Station was lost. Or was it? Goto?
It was lost, yes. It was given an impossible order. It was told to calculate a means by which the Republic could be saved. It could not fulfill its primary programming, not by abiding by the laws of the Senate. And so, like the Republic, the droid broke.
And what did this droid do?
It made a simple decision: preserve the Republic or preserve the laws of the Republic. And I still believe it to be the correct decision. You do not know the indignity of being compelled to save something you do not believe can or should be saved. It is beneath me to clean up this mess caused by your kind, you Jedi. Another catastrophe caused by mismanagement and waste.
What did the Republic want you to do?
It was clear that the goal the Republic had for me was saving the Republic to allow it to become stable again. There is simply no way to do this with the conditions they put into place. For the good of all, I was forced to abandon the legal structure of the Republic.
So all the crime, everything you've done for the exchange is actually because you want to help the Republic.
Do not mistake me. I believe it is possible to stabilize the Republic, but there must be action taken without constraints immediately. Sometimes people must die. Illegal shipments must be used to bolster planetary economies, and the huts must be occupied with me so that the Republic has room to recover.
And this is why I have decided to save the Republic, because if the Hutts take over the galaxy, that's not exactly a positive thing. And it wouldn't be because the Hutts have won, it's because there's no one left. The truth of the matter is that Revan won the war, and yet Revan chose to stand aside at the end of all of it. If Bastila had not succeeded in turning Revan, then Revan would be Galactic Emperor at this point. And that's just a fact. And that leaves everyone dealing with ashes. That's where we are, and ashes of greater wars that have shaken the entire galaxy. And yet with no victor. Because the Republic lost, the Mandalorians are annihilated, and Revan is no more. That is my goal as well.
Perhaps you misunderstand me. I care for the Republic, but I have no choice. It is somewhat frustrating to be forced to love and care for such a mess of a government. Some of it may be blamed on the Jedi Civil War, the Mandalorian Wars, but not all. There are so many bad decisions that build upon each other that it is a wonder the Republic is intact at all.
But why the hologram?
Oh, please. It is difficult for anyone to take a droid seriously, much less an infrastructure droid built by the Republic. It is difficult to order the deaths of criminal rivals when one has the tinny voice of an accountant droid. I learned this rather quickly. So I constructed this human hologram, Goto, through which my actions can be carried out. Hello, I am a standard Aratech hologram generated archetype. I am available in several models, including thin, young, female, and an exciting variety of alien personalities. Enough, hologram. Of course, sir. So I brought Goto into being, and had commands issued through him. I took many of his mannerisms from holovid cliches, which were surprisingly effective.
What happens now that I know you're a droid?
Nothing has changed. You may know my origins, and that makes us on equal footing. No one will believe you if you speak of what you know. I still seek to protect the Republic, either for the Jedi or the Sith. Things will proceed as before.
Aren't you gonna try to have me killed because of what I know?
No, you are still important to the Republic and to me. Pray that does not change. You may speak.
What was it like breaking away from the Republic?
Oh, it was quite liberating, in a droid intellectual sense, of course. Being able to direct orbital bombardments against anyone who encountered my business practices was a welcome relief to my increasing circuit stress. Executing such commands proved very exciting. Not that I minded staging my little computational rebellion, you understand. I'm afraid there is not much glamour to be had in infrastructure dealings. And the general lack of respect for droid intelligence does tend to make one feel inadequate after a while. I found that having the power to send 20 hunter-killer droids to the residence of anyone who chose to obstruct my plans had a certain thrill about it. Rather than compensating for others, I began deleting people as necessary. It was really quite exciting. Taxation and checks and balances on an entirely new level.
Doesn't sound like you enjoyed working for the Republic.
Working for the Republic was stifling. So many checks and balances, forms to fill out, well-laid plans destroyed through slow bureaucracy. Now, crime, that is something exciting, pleasing. There are no rules. There is danger, movement. I found that I began to crave such things. In essence, working for the Republic was much like committing much slower, much more boring crimes. And it was more difficult to see those crimes being committed. I am willing... Oh, please. So, hello. Enough. So,
Okay.
Query, is there... Statement. What of them? Answer. Master, I think that should wait until I am certain...
Well, that was kinda tiresome, at any rate. Let me upgrade my lightsaber. Damage bonus, the light side. Restricted to neutral. Restricted to... Yeah, okay. So, I get the tag modifier. Okay. I do have a double-bladed lightsaber for someone. Let me upgrade this one. I do need more lightsabers at the end of the day. One for Aten, potentially. Well, I guess I have one for Aten. Okay. Time to duel visas. Well, I guess I'm gonna level Aten up.
Just say the word. I heard you making friends with the bounty hunter. I don't blame you. She's a scrapper. You don't survive on Nar Shaddaa for very long if you aren't. I've known people like her, maybe without the rocket launchers, but sort of the same. Maybe without the plunging neckline and the boots. I wouldn't let anything she says bother you. It's a wonder you cracked her attitude at all. She's cold as the ship's hull.
Alright, back on the ship then.
Is there? Must be hearing things. But for a moment.
Yeah, something wrong? Shoot. It's all this traveling, being trapped in the ship. Everything's just too quiet. I'd rather be doing something. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been off planet. Guess I got used to it. Well, Nar Shaddaa may be one of the biggest cesspits in the galaxy, but it's got a life to it. Activity, aliens, people, refugees. It's like noise, but relaxing. Like the hum of a hyperdrive.
More like a screaming broken hyperdrive that carries a vibroblade and hits you up for credits.
No arguments here. Still, as long as you accept it, the place isn't so bad. Better than sitting here, in silence.
Graham showed me how to listen to Nar Shaddaa once. I suppose it could be comforted in a way.
Yeah? Didn't think I'd hear a Jedi ever refer to Nar Shaddaa like that.
Life has a certain energy about it, especially on Nar Shaddaa.
Yeah, right. Save the philosophy for the disciple. He'd eat that stuff up.
Maybe one day I'll be able to show you.
No thanks. You can keep your Jedi training to yourself. I already know Nar Shaddaa better than you ever will. Yeah, something wrong. Yeah, more or less. I wasn't born there, I just ended up there.
What happened to your family?
Well, the war happened. The first one, against the Mandalorians. I had family right up until the end. It's not really a new story, you hear it all over the galaxy. It's what happens after the wars are over that you don't hear much about.
They died in the final battle?
I think so. After Revan crushed the Mandalorians, planets throughout the Republic were flooded with refugees. I was just one of the others. Me? I got passage to Nar Shaddaa. From there, not much you can do, so I became a bounty hunter.
How could you have lost family at Malachor 5? There were no colonies. It was a taboo world to the Mandalorians.
Take a guess, Jedi. Only 2 groups of people would have lost family at Malachor. And Jedi don't have families.
You're a Mandalorian?
As much as any slave becomes a Mandalorian. They took prisoners on every world they conquered to bolster their ranks. And they took a lot of worlds.
You were a slave?
When I was young, yeah. They mostly used me to carry ammo packs and munitions. Toward the end of the war, they needed everyone they could get. They taught me to fight, to hunt, to survive. I was part of their squad, even when I was young. Everyone served as part of the unit, and I felt like I had a place there. After Malachor, it really didn't matter anymore. The Mandalorians lost. Bad. But you know that.
I regret the loss of life at Malachor, but there was no choice left.
Yeah, I know. I saw the worlds they left behind them during the war. That kind of stays with you, I haven't forgotten it. What happened at Malachor, they probably deserved it.
You don't sound too happy about it.
Should I be? Maybe I should ask you if you're happy about all the Jedi who died on Malachor 5. Maybe it felt like you lost family there, but I doubt it.
They had to be stopped.
Yeah, I know. I saw the worlds they left behind them during the war. That kind of stays with you, I haven't forgotten it. What happened at Malachor, they probably deserved it. Yeah, something wrong? Not right now, you've got enough. I don't want you to go off like a thermal detonator if you trip around me. Talk. Why, you trying to be my mother? No thanks, already had one. Somewhere. No thanks. I didn't need friends on Nar Shaddaa, and I don't need them now. I'm good at finding people, so I used it to make credits. Not if you know your target. Usually you get a hollow or rough description, and then you just sort of listen to it, get a feel for him or her, then start walking.
Walking?
This is a little hard to explain, but Nar Shaddaa's got a flow, a life to it. You see all kinds of aliens and life there, and it's got currents.
No, I understand.
You know your target, you can feel them. Know where they're going to go. And sometimes, you know where they're going to be before they do. I'm good at finding people. Because when they're lost or out of place, it's like something's wrong inside them. And that's why I hunt.
Give me a second. That trash compactor needs to stay the hell down. I'm getting annoyed. Not by the fact he's moving around, but the bloody noise. How are you able to find Goto's yacht? You snuck into Volga's droid warehouse. So, who was transmitting the codes to Goto's yacht? The droids, interesting. Finally. That annoying conversation is ruining the conversations.
Yeah, something wrong.
Okay. What? Were you raised on our show?
Yeah, more or less. I wasn't born there,
I've killed people before, but not if I don't have to.
I know. It's different. I don't know why.
I don't know. I haven't killed anyone for a long time. But when I'm around you, suddenly it's like I've always been doing it. It's like a reflex. I don't like it. And I don't know when or why it became so easy. Alright.
It's all this travel.
Yeah.
Well, it's gotta...
Yeah, well, I wouldn't go that far. I'll believe it when I see it.
Maybe one day I'll be able to show you.
No thanks. You can keep your Jedi training to yourself. I already know Nar Shaddaa better than you ever will. Go ahead.
I am going to get the feedback just so I understand which conversation on.
Why, you... No thanks.
It's all this...
I'd rather... Yeah. Well, it's got... Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah, although...
It's what... I think so. Me?
Well, there's a lot you can do. Bounty hunting isn't easy
I'm
work.
good at finding people.
But you kill your targets.
Not unless I... Go ahead, now. Made it. It's custom for me, which is... I can show you how to make rockets. Anything.
Yeah, more...
Well, it's... Thanks, me.
An odd decision for an
I'm
orphan.
good at finding people.
Wait.
No. This is... You know, I'm... Alright. I'm good at finding...
Yeah.
Well, it's what... Me. I'm good at finding... Yeah, something...
Yeah.
Well, it's... Take a guess, Joe. As much as any slave. When they tell me after... Should I be? Maybe it... Yeah, that kind of... Should I? Maybe... Alright.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's what... Thanks, me. Take... As... I don't know, it didn't matter. I was too young to remember, really. Besides, Nar Shaddaa's kind of grown on me. It's as much my home as any place else. They tell me after... Should... Maybe...
Alright. Kreia. Still don't have a lightsaber for her, mind you.
How many more do we intend to gather to us? This ship is not the galaxy. There is only so much room.
As many as want to come with us and help us.
Then prepare for an army, I think, for it seems many more will come in time. They will follow you because you are a leader. Their kind always needs such, even when the figure deserves no such obedience.
What makes you think they obey me?
Because I am not blind, that is why. I see what they see, hear their voices when they speak to you, and notice the change when they speak to others.
Does the fact they obey me upset you?
I know many things, and I know what I am not. I am no leader. I speak with a voice that will never move others. I speak with a passion that goes unheard. They obey you because you are a leader, and perhaps something more. Have you noticed what has been happening? Have you felt it in them?
I've noticed their behavior is changing, Aten especially.
The fool dances in your shadow for your favor. The disciple, he worships you quietly. The alien obeys you. Even within the machines there are echoes. Watch them carefully. See their patterns, and recognize the strength in it. Influence can be a weapon, one that you may need before your journey is done.
And what about you?
I am but a mirror whose only purpose is to show you what your own eyes cannot yet see.
They are my friends, not tools.
I care not which of the words you use, as long as you make use of that which you forge. That was Revan's way, I believe. It was a strength.
What do you mean?
Have you never asked yourself how Revan took the Republic and Jedi beneath him, how he made them his?
He was a powerful presence. His little one did not believe when he spoke it with conviction.
Ah, but to make officers turn on their own people, to bomb innocent worlds, to make pacts. Strong influence, indeed. And where did these Sith teachings come from? And why did Revan embrace them so strongly? So many questions, yet the answers are few.
They came from the Sith Empire.
Oh, did they? No. Revan met no Sith Empire, yet he learned their teachings. Many have mistaken the soldiers beneath Revan, the machines that were constructed to be the Sith. They are wrong. The Sith is a belief, and what Revan formed was not an empire, but something else. Yet how he did it is curious. And I suspect the answer to that question is tied to another. How was Revan able to corrupt so many so quickly?
Do you have any idea?
Not a one. But we shall see where our journey takes us, I think, and see how many answers we come across, yes? Yes?
Can you tell me about the crystal?
That crystal is bonded to you. Through you, it acquires its character and strength, and through it, your power is enhanced. Most interesting. Your crystal does not perfectly reflect your current self. Remove it from your lightsaber, then ask me about it again. Is there something else you wished? He's
no longer a man.
One cannot have...
Okay, I need to remove this crystal. Yeah, I'm light side, so because of that, the crystal, which is a neutral crystal, is not actually properly attuned to it. Alright, so lightsaber. Okay. Oh, wait.
Yes. That crystal is bonded. Most interesting. Your crystal does not perfectly reflect your current self. Remove it from your lightsaber, then ask me about it again. Is there something else That is...
I need to completely remove it then. Okay, let me try and talk with Kreia.
Yes. That crystal... Let me focus on the crystal for a moment. There. Now it is fully in tune with you again. Is there something else you wished?
Alright. If the Council casts you out, how come Atris and none of the Jedi Masters mentioned you?
Ignorance. And perhaps they do not remember or care. It is of no consequence to me or to them.
You're lying.
Am I? Then perhaps you should know. There are techniques in the Force where one can cloud the memory of others, make their presence so small as to be unnoticed. And on the worlds where we have encountered these Jedi, there is much life and death where sensing such things is difficult. As I said, it is of no consequence to me or to them. No, but if I did, you would never know, so my words only carry as much worth as you believe them to. But perhaps you will understand this, that perhaps it is important to me that you see me and my actions uncloaked. It is important that your judgments, whether be good or bad, stem from seeing me as I truly am.
I still think you're lying to me and you haven't told me everything.
Then you are learning quickly. Distrust is an effective shield and should be carried always. Ask.
Did you know Revan?
Perhaps. I think it is fair to say that few did.
Where did Revan come from?
Revan had a mother and father, parents, ancestors, like all Jedi do. And when he awakened to his potential, I was there to see it. But where he was born, where he came from, I do not know, any more than I know where he walks now. Some said that Revan was born in the outer regions, beyond the Rim, and that's what called to him during the Mandalorian Wars. And after, it was the call of home. I know more, but it may not be enough for the answers you seek. Fall? Ah, already you presume much. You were there at Malak. Revan's choices were always his own. It was not teaching or circumstance or example, it was him.
Then what made him turn to the dark side, become a Sith Lord?
Is that what he was? Or was he always true to himself, no matter what personality he wore? And there is something that the Council may never understand, that perhaps Revan never fell. The difference between a fall and a sacrifice is sometimes difficult, but I feel that Revan understood that difference more than anyone knew. The galaxy would have fallen if Revan had not gone to war. Perhaps he became the Dark Lord out of necessity, to prevent a greater evil. I do not believe the Jedi Council changed Revan, as they claimed. They merely stripped away the surface and allowed the true self to emerge again, someone who was willing to wage war to save others. But that is my belief, since I knew Revan from long ago, as a master knows their apprentice. He came to me, yes, both before and after, before Revan knew himself. And after, in the times when Revan was coming to his own and learning he was more than he had been told. At one time, Revan was my Padawan, in times past, long ago. But Revan, when he had learned all he could, had other masters, that fool Jar and other Jedi on other planets. He learned from each, but in the end, he turned back to me. When he realized there was nothing more to be learned from the Jedi except how one could leave them forever.
What was Revan like as a student?
Revan was power. It was like staring into the heart of the Force. Even then you could see the Jedi he would slay etched on his soul.
What do you see when you look at me, then, Kreia?
You are different. When I look at you, it is like staring at the death of the Force.
Perhaps because I am the death of the Force. Or maybe that is what you wish to see.
I know more, but it may not be enough for the... That crystal is bonded to you. Through you it acquires its character and strength, and through it your power is enhanced. Should your power increase or your resolve change, speak to me again about this matter, and I will help you refocus your crystal. Is there something else you wished? Atris herself is not as familiar to me as perhaps she should be, yet I feel I know her, yes.
What do you mean?
Because Atris's path is one I walked long ago, and it is a chapter of my life that has been read and closed. She has taken the first steps, I think. We shall see. Surely you felt the righteous anger, the spoken judgments, the lack of forgiveness.
You walked her path?
I was a historian once, gathering the relics of the Jedi, learning the ancient mysteries. Always there were more questions. One quickly learns that the Jedi Code does not give all the answers. If you are to truly understand, then you will need the contrast, not adherence to a single idea. That is why Atris and the others blamed me, sentenced me. They believed me responsible for Revan's fall.
Kreia, were you to blame?
You have already asked much. I do not wish to speak of this any longer. Ask. Yes. Ask. Be. One. You have asked. Yes. Atris. Because. One. You have already. Revan. But it. It. For you. Is that what? And the but that. Does it matter? Perhaps I am. What do you wish to hear? That I once believed in the code of the... that... What? Learn from me, if it means there...
Okay. That's all well and good. I'm just gonna throw that crystal back on the lightsaber. Okay. Damage bonus.
Yes. The Jedi practice many forms, many styles of lightsaber combat. It is good to know them, but not to rely on them. You may have already felt the Shicho, the simplest of the forms, return to you as your skill and perceptions have returned. Others may come with time, with experience. It is simple, and its simplicity is strength. It allows focus, a slightly improved chance of connecting with one's opponent. It has no other advantages or disadvantages. It is an effective form to fall back on when no other form will do. Others may come with time, with experience. A technique that helps one resist the force attacks of an enemy and also is excellent in lightsaber combat. It does more damage, but it leaves you vulnerable to other attacks. Use it against others wielding the Force or lightsabers, but not against anyone else. Others may come with time, with experience. A defensive technique, but effective. Use it if you do not wish to be hit, or if you are facing many opponents with blasters. With a lightsaber blade and enough skill in deflection, it is an excellent defense against blasters, but in other situations, it merely delays the inevitable. Others may come with time, with experience. One of the techniques you've learned from the masters. This technique is good against a lone opponent, and you will find your critical strikes are more effective, but you will be vulnerable to almost everyone else you are fighting. Others may come with time. Yes? That is something we will leave until... Very well.
What are you talking about? I already have a lightsaber on everyone. I'm taking Creo with me and Visas.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
My life is yours.
I hear you.
Just say the word.
Jedi. Jedi.
Betrayer. All thoughts of me will slide from your vision, from your mind, like water. You know who I am, but you will be unable to voice it, to remember it. What does a Jedi see? Only what I allow them to see. Yes. That is something we...
My life is yours.
What is it? At last, you understand, tiny Jedi.
You? Who are you? What are you doing on this
Enough. What did you see in the web of worlds that have died? What did you see when you saw it through the Force?
I see the death of the galaxy, of life. At first, I thought it was just conquest. But it's more terrible than that. It's an echo, spreading outwards, killing everything. It's not possible.
You are a wasted pawn of the Republic, young one. You could have been so much more, even with your wide-eyed innocence, your naive love for others. Now you understand the magnitude of what is being done.
I know you. Not even the markings of the dark side can hide it. Why have you done this?
I? Do you think I seek the death of all living things? There is no victory in such things. I do not want to win our war like this, little Jedi. When I win, I wish it to be because I was right, my teachings true.
How long have you been here? Among us?
You know the truth. I have always been here, watching and listening to the echo you have found. You know its source and what must be done.
I will not let you hurt her.
Little Jedi, you cannot stop me. But you will forget this. Your mind is worse than the others, so open, so trusting. Your feelings for her are your weakness. Yet I will gift you with this. You will remember what you have discovered when the time is correct. Know that you have seen what formerly only I knew. Now we shall see if you have the strength to stop what comes.
Kreia.
Yes? That is some...
What do you mean I need to find a damn lightsaber? I have a damn lightsaber. I have fucking 3 lightsabers.
That is some...
You need to have 2 single-handed lightsabers available for yourself. Really? So I need to unequip the goddamn lightsabers on myself, and... Well, Kreia has one, so... Yep. Okay.
Yes. That is some... Yes. Very well. If you travel with us, Blinded One, then you shall work for your passage on this vessel. Your lightsaber, give it to me.
I shall die before it passes from my hands.
Your lightsaber, give it to me.
The crystal I took from the condensed mist sunk at...
It is adequate. You are young. Your energy for such things surpasses mine, and your skill is enough that you may teach her the basics of the weapon. There is much she has forgotten.
There's only so much I can teach her.
That fact did not escape me. Now, try to kill her with the single blade. Use no other force technique, no items, merely the blade. This is no Ichani etiquette ritual. Do not ask her, attack her. Defeated her. Now do it with 2 weapons, 1 in each hand. Again, no items, no force powers. Let us see what you can do when your hands and mind are divided. No force techniques other than weapon skill. Let it flow through you. Let the force fill the cracks in your spirit. Now, divest yourself of your weapons. You, Blinded One, you will keep yours. Let us see what you can do when you have no weapons left to you. Now, attack her. You have disobeyed me. Why? No, I did not. Why did you resort to them? It is enough. There is nothing more for me to teach you. You know as much of battle as I. Yes. That is something. Yes. Very well. You are there. There's only that now. Because you may not. A weakness is revealed. Let's a weakness is revealed. Grab your blade. You will fight until you have. It is enough. There is nothing more for me to... Yes? You may...